Twitter account of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's personal website and mobile app was hacked early this morning. This has been confirmed now by social media giant Twitter, which now says it's taken steps to secure the compromised account and is actively investigating. Rubina joins us with more on that. Rubina, what are we hearing about the hacking itself, associated developments? Twitter now confirming this, of course. We'll also have expert Saket Modi joining us with more details on why this strange demand was made for cryptocurrency by the hackers. Rubina, to you first.
Sure. So the account, which has 2.5 million followers, tweeted out asking users to donate to the PM National Relief Fund for COVID-19 using cryptocurrency. Now, I think that's because cryptocurrency is untraceable by nature, which means it's tracking them. It can't track where the money is actually going. It's not possible. Right, Saket? So another thing is that Twitter did confirm of this activity and has taken steps to secure the account. It is also likely, like the same way how the Elon Musk account was hacked in July, it's the same sort of an activity. And the Twitter, the hacker also mentioned that they did not hack the Paytm Mall, which was also hacked in earlier this year.
If we have Saket Modi, co-founder and CEO of Lucidius, with us. Saket Modi, explain to us exactly how this could have happened. Why were there these references where the hackers saying, no, we didn't do anything with the Paytm Mall, that hasn't been compromised. What is all this about?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me here. Quick background around, all the Twitter hacks that have been going on. As we all know, unfortunately, there have been a lot of high-profile Twitter hacks over the last few months. And I think the bigger message there is the more we become dependent on digital, securing digital is not something which has been thought of from an awareness, knowledge perspective with most people. And that's the reason why, most of these celebrity accounts generally, which are not managed by directly the individual, but of course they'll have a team of multiple people. The chances of a breach out there actually go drastically higher. And I don't see this anything which is out of the blue. This was not the primary account of the Prime Minister. This was the account of his website, his mobile application, as the description of the Twitter account clearly says. But from what I can see, and of course the investigation is going on, so we don't know exactly how the hack happened. But something interesting in the tweets that actually came out, the tweets did not really happen directly from the account. It was it was somebody who actually knew how do you use the social media in the right way, where the hacker went ahead and actually created an app of their own, because there are a lot of these social media messaging application where in one platform you can send the same tweet or the same message on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc., etc. So it looks like the hacker actually went ahead and created a session or basically a token that you actually create, once you have an access to an account. And using that token, you can put that into your software or any of the popular social media messaging softwares to go ahead and blast out the message everywhere. And it looks like that's what happened in this case also.
Saket, also, can you explain to our viewers what is cryptocurrency and why did the hacker ask for that?
Well, cryptocurrency, first of all, the big myth about cryptocurrency is it is untraceable. In fact, the funny thing about cryptocurrency is every single transaction that ever has happened in the Bitcoin world, specifically Bitcoin, because there are different kinds of cryptocurrencies, but specifically Bitcoin, every transaction that has ever happened in the last decade or so, it is all traceable. But traceability of the transaction is not a problem. The problem is you don't need a KYC to open an account in Bitcoins. So, you can actually have 20 accounts in Bitcoin and nobody would know that that's really you. And that's the problem with Bitcoin, that when you transfer money, you know exactly where it's going. You can actually trace from that account where the money is also going. But the problem is because there's no KYC, you don't really know who that account really belongs to and where will it actually be, withdrawn and where will it be converted, etc., etc. So therefore, it's the favorite way for hackers to go ahead and transact. And generally, it's Bitcoins because it's popularly accepted at a lot of platforms. And it's fairly easy to cash out if you've got Bitcoins in your wallet.
Okay, Saket, why did the hacker group mention Paytm in their tweet, and say specifically that they did not hack it. What was that about?
Yeah, okay, think of it like this, right? If you've seen, and you understand how these, these mobs or these gangster groups would work in the physical world. What that means is, there is a pride, unfortunately, that a criminal group generally takes when they go ahead and go after a particular target and take it down. The virtual world is not very different. You actually have different sets of groups which are fairly popular, which are fairly active in the deep and dark web. And what happens in that way is that sometimes you might be attributed to some things which you've not done, and you want to just clarify that, not because you're worried that the law enforcement will come behind you, but you're just worried, or not really worried, but you're very clear about your own community or the underground hacker community of only taking credit of what you're really hacking. In this case, the secondary account of the Prime Minister's websites, and not really taking credit for something that you've not hacked.
Right, Saket. So what implications could have had if this hack would have been successful for them? Or people would have transferred money, bitcoins, to the account?
Well, I would not be surprised if there were a few people who would transfer money. If you remember, it was almost $100,000 worth of transfers which happened, so almost 70 lakh rupees within 2 hours of a lot of those Twitter accounts tweeting that, like, send me this money on this my Bitcoin wallet and I'll double the money. This is from Bill Gates and Barack Obama, etc., etc. So I'd not be surprised if some people have transferred. It's fairly easy to actually point that out in the Bitcoin world. But on the other side, I think for good or bad, India is still not embraced the cryptocurrency world which is there, and that's one of the key reasons why there are not very many users. And we've had the regulatory rulings very clearly saying that having cryptocurrency exchanges in India is illegal, and that's the reason not many people actually have cryptocurrencies in India, and even the ones which have it, they're not very active, like they're trading it every hour or every 2 hours. So I don't envision it to be very big. The implications, of course, it was a very popular thing which is in the western part of the world, people would lose some money.
Right. All right. Saket Modi, Rubina Mongia, thanks very much indeed for joining us on this discussion and trying to make sense of that hack.